Hey guys, this is Matt for Creative, and today we're taking a look at the Canon M100. This is a camera that I still recommend here in 2024, especially as we're going into the holidays. And I want to take another look at this, the normal configuration that you get this camera in. And just starting off, the M series, this EFM camera line, including the one that I'm actually shooting on, which is a more professional version of it, that has been discontinued, is now included with the RF line. It's like they're new cameras. They look like DSLR size cameras. For me, there's nothing in them that these ones cannot kind of replicate if you do things in the right way. But one of my favorite things is this camera is tiny. So here we have this. This is usually the stock lens that comes with it. This is the 15-45 lens that makes this tiny little body of a camera a little bit bigger. And there are other lenses that you can go for. But here, I'm taking this one off just so we can see the size of the camera here. Next to it, we can just kind of compare it to an iPhone 15 Pro Max. Of course, it's going to be smaller, it's going to be thicker than it, but this is one of my favorite cameras because it does everything that I would need it to. Now, as a caveat, if you want in-body image stabilization, this does not have that. This one works with the with the lens stabilization, and then you can get lenses that stabilize so you can do video if you want to do video. But I would more look at this for a photography camera that can do video work. And by the way, this lens here, this has in-body stabilization, so it will allow you to kind of film properly and not have those shakes. But a lot of the time when people get maybe older digicams, they don't want something that's ultra sharp. They want something that will be kind of look jagged, look like from the early 2000s. And when you use a different lens, for example, this lens, which is one of my favorites here, we have this on the more professional body, but this is the EFM, this is the 22mm what is it? I think it's an f2 exactly. And look how small that lens is. And look at how small it fits on this body. That lens in particular does not have in-body stabilization, although it is tiny. But this, let's go through the features here. Let's look. We will unlock this camera. Not all the lenses need to do it. But what I like about this is that right now I am pointing this at the camera. And if you can see it, because you can maybe see the screen, and it's going to be kind of blown out, honestly, you're going to get a nice background blur. Here, we can actually do this. So right now, I'm filming myself. You can see that there's a jersey behind me, but right now, we have background blur. We actually do have background blur, and it is usable. You kind of get more of a professional looking shot when you have like some shallow depth of field. But even if you don't want that, these cameras do really well. And the main point about this is that this can shoot in RAW. RAW is going to make it so much more flexible to shoot. Now, you can shoot with things like the iPhone in RAW with an app called Moment or other apps on the market, but the sensor is significantly smaller. You can play with it, and you do sometimes get that kind of like rough around the edges digicam look, because a lot of people are trying to get away from the overly HDR look, and you can get that with apps. But I have been going back and forth between using just a phone to record my videos and record my and shoot my photos. But then I kind of like, when I start playing around with even my most basic of cameras, I think, you know what? I know what I'm missing. I'm missing more megapixels, more clarity, and the flexibility to shoot and have it be really, really clear, or to maybe stop things down and make it look kind of vintagey, kind of. This next little piece, which I'm going to be showing in its own dedicated video, I'm going to take this lens off, which again, most of the times it comes with. So if you have this, your stock, you're good. But this is a beautiful little lens, and look how tiny that is. That's the T Artisans, or the 7 Artisans pancake lens. And this fits, look at how small this is. And you may think, okay, this is going to be tiny. It is tiny. It has, honestly, you can focus. It has a focus ring. You can see here, I'm focusing on myself. And I'm out of focus. But what I love about this the most is that this really emulates those disposable cameras. And when you have that flash on, it really gives you those perfect party shots, those wedding shots in a form factor that is literally this size. Now, because this is a manual focus lens, you will never be able to have this as a stabilized lens, but the kind of feelings that this emulates is those kind of, what is it, those 16mm movies? Is that what they call them? Like from the 70s, where it's all shaky and jaggy and not really in focus, but you're kind of getting the idea of what's happening. That's what this can do, and that's what this body can do. You can go from anywhere from having kind of this vintage look to a kind of standard look, you know, and you can get some background blur, to even lenses like this. This is a 16mm f1.4 lens. It fits on the body. It makes it look ridiculously big, but it does fit on the body. And right now I have this with my filters and everything. And just look at the size of the body to this. It is kind of ridiculous, but this one here, you get basically the most shallow depth of field possible. This one does not have image stabilization, but because of the weight of the lens, it does really well at kind of balancing itself if you're one-handed. And this has been one of my favorite lenses to use for photography and video, because when you're in the city like I am, you get everything. And even if you're shooting landscapes, you're getting everything. And basically, even on a sensor this old, you can see at night with this. It is beautiful, and it's something that I really recommend to people. So definitely, I would be looking at the M100. It's a discontinued camera, so it's something that you're probably going to be finding online. I got mine used already, and it's been maybe like 6 years of having this camera here used. But I got this at B&H Photo. We're not sponsored by them, but I was kind of looking at what are the current deals that they have, and I see the Canon EOS M100 at Abe's of Maine for $379. So let's see, and this one does come with the 15 to 45mm lens. It comes with a battery, a strap, a lens cap, and a battery charger. So that's literally everything you need to kind of get going. And normally, if you didn't want everything as wide as this, I'm using a different lens that's compatible with this. This is the 11 to 22mm lens. And if I wanted to kind of zoom in, because 11 and 15 is not so different, but it's kind of like this. And you can still get like the dynamic range, you can get everything, you can get like a slight background blur. It works really, really well. So if you want to vlog, if you want to make videos, if you want to take pictures, this is a great body to have, because it allows for so many different variances of lenses to work. And you can find something, even with a discontinued model, you can get discounts on lenses, and you can find what really works for you. But for me, I really do recommend the M100 here in 2024. It gives you a different feel having a dedicated camera, and it's great that it's not too heavy. It's great that you can just kind of put this on a clip and you are good to go. Anyway, guys, if you have any comments or questions, put it in the comment section below. Sorry, I need to cough there a second. You can find me on Instagram and Threads at M8B9. You can email me at CreativeNYC2024@gmail.com. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I will see you next time.